Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Stoic Quotes. This week, we've got a recurring guest, if you will, Marcus Aurelius. Some of you may know him from my previous videos. Of course, one of the last of the 5 good emperors. So, it goes a little something like this. Yes, keep on degrading yourself, soul. But soon your chance at dignity will be gone. Everyone gets one life. Yours is almost used up, and instead of treating yourself with respect, you have entrusted your own happiness to the souls of others. Oof. Damn, that's like a ICBM right into the brainstem. This one really gets the thought juices flowing. It's a little bit of a longer one, but I think it gives us a lot more material to unpack. So with all of Marcus's quotes, we kind of have to break it down. He's not like Epictetus, who just has those pithy one-liners where he's just surgical precision with the one thing. Marcus tends to get a little bit, he tends to ramble a little bit more, which again, this quote is from the Meditations. He wrote this for himself. So I think it's really interesting, as an aside, before we get into it, to see how the different, essentially different presentations of it, because obviously I think Epictetus was writing for his students or the people he was teaching or whatever else, whereas Marcus was writing for himself. But let's break it down. Yes, keep on degrading yourself, soul, but soon your chance at dignity will be gone. Right? So what is Marcus trying to say here? Is he trying to say that through the hunt for dignity, because for some reason there's a lot of, when we talk about souls, there's always something pure and dignified with regards to that, the soul is supposed to be dignified in some sort of a way. I'm not quite sure why. But again, this also speaks to a Cartesian duality in the sort of sense which, like I've mentioned in previous videos, I don't agree with. I'm a strict materialist in that sense. We don't have bodies. We are bodies. We're one single unit. But it's interesting, that paradox, right? To degrade yourself to have the chance of dignity. I think that's a really cool paradox as well, because by the soul degrading itself, is that how it's trying to hunt for dignity? What essentially, and not to get on my Jordan Peterson here, but of course, what do you mean by degrading, and what do you mean by soul? What do you mean by dignity? That's enough of the jokes, but they are really good questions. What does he mean by degrading? Everyone gets one life. I mean, essentially, this sort of builds off of the one of the previous ones that we did. This is Marcus Aurelius Drake? Is Drake the ultimate Stoic philosopher? You only live once. But it is true. I think we only do get the one life. I mean, it's not really been proven that we reincarnate into anything, and I'm not trying to make this video as sort of to trample on whatever someone's personal belief system or anything like that, but it's true. Like, we only get one life. Now, whether or not that's one life as ourselves or just in general, the dictum still stands. Yours is almost used up, and instead of treating yourself with respect, you have entrusted your own happiness to the souls of others. Now, I think this is where the degradation aspect sort of comes in, because, and it's almost Marcus is saying that, okay, you've wasted your life by brown nosing, not just by brown nosing, but by abdicating the responsibility, which again is a recurring theme in every single fucking video I do. Forgive my language, but it's true. That rhymes too. Shit. Anyway, one take, that's all we do. You've almost used up your whole life by brown nosing to other people, by abdicating that responsibility, by trusting other people to make you happy, when ultimately you should treat your own self with respect and let you be the self-generator of your own happiness. Now, it's a long quote, it's a long ass quote, but I like this one a lot because it does speak to the degradation of oneself in order to achieve happiness. And of course, this is completely antithetical to Stoic thought, because Stoic thought, of course, virtue is the ultimate good, the only good, and that's the only way to achieve human happiness. So when we unpack this, it really gets us thinking, okay, was Marcus degrading himself? Was he always a Stoic? Is he regretting something? Has he tried to seek validation and tried to seek happiness? Has he entrusted that responsibility to other people? And I think this concept is very timely too, because we live in an age where we're dependent on other people for that external validation, but at the same time, we also want to be alone. It's another really weird paradox where we need people in order to provide that validation, and yet we don't ever want to interact with them. As one YouTuber said, actually, in a video that he made, it's almost as though everyone is in their own comfy little cube, and they're sat in front of the computer screen, and they're trying to make this parasocial connection between the others, and that's the community of cubes, if you will. I'm paraphrasing terribly, but I think it really hits the nail on the head for this one. I'm getting a little bit off track, but we'll bring it back to it. You need to be the ultimate generator of your own happiness. By entrusting it to others, it's not necessarily that you have trust issues, although maybe that's certainly a valid reason for not entrusting other people to generate your own happiness. Again, that's probably not the correct way of thinking it, but that's sort of the way that my mind goes with it. Now, I think that going back to the validation piece, this quote is so timely and it's so important specifically because of that. We constantly seek validation from other people when really we should be the ones validating ourselves. And that's a hard thing to do because where we are so social, it's hard to create an echo chamber for yourself. It's really, really hard not to just bounce around in your cube, for lack of a better word, and to think, okay, yes, I'm right. This is the way that I'm doing it. And I'm not saying don't stick to your guns, but you almost do need another person or other people in order to let you know, okay, is this the right way that I'm the right way? Is this a good way to go? Is this a bad way to go? Am I just becoming this animal, this wild beast, the solitary lone wolf that is good or that is bad? And I think that's sort of the underlying problem I have with the quote, because yes, while I do agree with it in principle, we do still need other people in order to bounce off of, to let us know, okay, in order to learn, okay, is this how I should be acting? Is this how I should be living my life? And I don't think that that's entrusting that responsibility to them. Essentially, you would use, for lack of a better word, other people as a sounding board for your own responsibility, your own virtues, your own morality. Anyway, I'll wrap it up because we've been rambling. But let me know what your thoughts were in the comments below. Have I completely missed the mark on this one? Feel free to drop a comment down there and a like on the video as well. And as always, thank you so much for watching.